Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today we're going to go over some news and everything that's still going on as far as the BitGrail drama and stolen Nano is concerned. We're also going to talk about what's going on with the general market. It seems like a lot of cryptocurrencies are kind of consolidating and finding a bit of a balance in this area. A lot of cryptocurrencies either down in between 5% or up 5%. So little range there, nothing too crazy, no major moves. Ripple is one of the stronger cryptocurrencies out here, and it's still up 14% over the past 24 hours, so it has pulled back a little bit, but it is still holding up very well. So also I should point out that some of the smaller cryptocurrencies seem to be having a harder time to stay in the green, and that's something that I actually pointed out in my last daily crypto update. It did look like the bigger cryptocurrencies were stronger. That seems to be the case once again today, so we might see the bigger cryptocurrencies have an easier time to recover when throughout this whole recovery process, basically, right, that we're currently kind of in the midst of. And just going to give a quick shout out to my premium content. If you want monthly cryptocurrency buying opportunities or 5 high return cryptocurrencies for your 2018 portfolio, you can find both those things in my premium content, and I'll have a link to that in the description of this video. Also, make sure to go follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. So let's go right into some news here. And trending at the top of the cryptocurrency subreddit is everything that's going on with the BitGrail hack, pretty much. How the owner basically, hid information and concealed the fact that the BitGrail was insolvent. So this whole thing is still going on. It's definitely not solved yet, and it's going to take time for this to get resolved. Now we'll see how it happens, when it'll happen. There's no real way to know now. A couple bits of news about that is that KuCoin is freezing any Nano deposits from basically that were stolen. Same thing with Binance. And interesting bit of information here from Gary Tan. This is one of the pretty big, investors in Ray Blocks. He was actually a seed investor in Coinbase as well. So just a big Silicon Valley investor, basically. And he mentioned how, Bitcoin had the Mt. Gox event, Ethereum had the DAO hack, and that Nano is going through, the BitGrail drama. Now, like he says, this too shall normally pass and get resolved. Some people are saying that the only way to fix this now is going to be a hard fork, and there was a bit of debate about that in the comments. So we'll see, right? There's definitely different options at this point on how this is going to get fixed, but it may take more time than people expect, and that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. As far as the price recovery is concerned, same thing, right? Now we have this huge amount of XRP that's stolen, and that's going to be somewhere. Likely going to try to be cashed out over the next couple of months, and that's probably going to take a hit on the price if that's what happens. So we could see the price continue to sink lower. Right now we recovered a bit where we bounced off that 100,000 Satoshi level, made our way back above 105,000 Satoshis, and then we weren't really able to get much higher than that because we still have this new short-term downtrend, which is putting a lot of pressure on the price. And moreover, even if we are able to get back above that and hold, we have this longer-term downtrend now that'll also put even more pressure on the price. So not going to be easy here for Nano to make a recovery just yet. And I'd say right now we just want to be able to hold above 105,000 Satoshis, right? So if we trade and consolidate between 105K and 118,000 Satoshis in this range right here, that's pretty good considering everything that's going on. What we want to try to avoid is, even if we come back a little bit lower and test 100,000 Satoshis, that's still okay. We just want to make sure that we hold above 100,000 Satoshis, right? Because if we lose that 100K Satoshi level, probably going to be moving much, much lower, and we could really see the price sink for quite some time, I believe. So ultimately, we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Right now, at least, we're holding above 105,000 Satoshis, and that's enough for the time being, I'd say. Let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin now. Bitcoin is pulling back a little bit while facing some resistance with the downtrend line over here. We're still holding our short-term uptrend line, which is good. And really, I'd say the only thing that we want to make sure doesn't happen is that we fall back under the orange line on the MACD, right? That would put us back in a downtrending RSI, back into bullish territory, and it'd probably mean that the price also took a hit as well. So ideally, we really want to make sure we hold above the uptrend line, and especially we don't want to drop below $7,950. So hopefully that happens, and we will continue to move higher here over the next couple days. What we want to see is to get back above really $10,000 to be out of any kind of big drop or pullback potential. Once we get back above $10,000, we may consolidate, and even if we act a bit weak, probably not going to be crashing lower. So still looking okay for now, and it's holding the uptrend line, which is good. Let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum and see what Ethereum has been up to. So Ethereum is in a very similar situation as Bitcoin. It did manage to break out of the downtrend line as well on the RSI. Now, didn't get that crossover yet on the MACD here for Ethereum, and really pretty similar situation, right? We do want to try to stay above the short-term uptrend line. It is pretty steep, so if that doesn't happen, just want to make sure that we hold above $764, right? As long as we do that, we should be able to trend higher along the uptrend line and to slowly but surely get back above $1,000. The level that we want to get back above to be fully back into bullish momentum would probably be $1,100. Let's go ahead and take a look at Litecoin now and see what Litecoin has been up to. So for Litecoin, we're in a little bit of a different situation. Now we are out of our downtrend line as far as the price is concerned, and it's actually looking pretty strong here. I actually entered a Litecoin position yesterday. Now we can see that we are uptrending on the RSI. We are out of the downtrend on the MACD and histogram. Now into positive area on both of those, which is very good, even a bit more than Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that's something to point out there. Now we are facing a lot of resistance at around $170, right? Maybe a little bit below that, around $165. But that's where we're having some trouble breaking above. So we'll be looking to do that in the next few days if we want to try to move back quickly to $218. Otherwise, we may just consolidate a little bit more. For Ethereum, I'd say we want to definitely make sure we hold above $145, just because if we fall below that, we're probably going to be moving back down to $100. That's something that we definitely don't want to see. I don't think that'll happen, but just be aware that we want to make sure we hold above $145, basically. Let's go ahead to the next cryptocurrency, which is Ripple. And like I mentioned, Ripple is actually one of the cryptos that's acting a bit stronger than others as far as percentage increase, especially. And what we're seeing here for Ripple is, we're definitely out of this downtrend that we experienced. That was a very harsh downtrend that pushed us all the way back down to the longer-term uptrend line, which is a nice level to bounce off of course. And we're continuing our uptrend basically now with higher lows, higher highs in the short term. We're having some trouble getting back above the middle band. I did mention that in my previous daily crypto update, that's the level we want to try to get back above to really start uptrending more nicely, and that's going to be at $1.05. So we're not far away from that, and we could definitely see that happen over the next couple days. After that, should be able to get back towards $1.50. And the indicators looking good here. Got the crossover on the MACD, crossover on the histogram as well, and the RSI that's really kicking up quite a bit here back towards that 50 line. So Ripple definitely acting strong here. It has pulled back quite a bit, so we'll have to see how this plays out. But I'd say that Ripple is one of the cryptocurrencies that's likely to move higher in the next couple days and to recover a pretty substantial amount of what it lost. Let's go ahead and take a look at NEO now and see how NEO is doing. So NEO is currently in its symmetrical triangle between our short-term uptrend line and our short-term downtrend line. We can see that we were trying to break above that. Nothing was able to hold. As for the indicators, kind of flat right now, showing a little bit of weakness maybe. So not that much going on. We're just going to have to see if we're either going to lose the uptrend line support and maybe move back towards $100, or if we're going to be able to break towards the upside of this. What's also possible is that we just move pretty horizontally near this $110 area, and then once we'll have more space, we'll move back towards $148. So I'd say that's a pretty likely scenario at this point. And let's go ahead and take a look at Vertcoin now. Vertcoin is finding some resistance with the middle band as well. That's at $3.69. As for the indicators, all looking pretty decent now, uptrending. and we're just pulling back a little bit, facing a bit of resistance at $3.23. Ideally, we do want to try to hold above that, and at this point, we don't want to break below the uptrend line, right? We really want to avoid that. So it'd be good if we manage to hold above $3.23, and that we really start to see Vertcoin move higher in this range between $3.23 and $5. Let's go ahead and take a look at Monero now and see what Monero is doing throughout all of this. So Monero is currently continuing basically its V-shaped bounce. We are pulling back a bit today, but we have put in higher highs, higher lows. And what we're seeing for a lot of these cryptocurrencies is a lot of resistance with the middle band, right? That's the red line right here at $270 for Monero. So that's where we're facing a bit of resistance. As for the indicators, trying to get that crossover on the MACD and histogram. And we'll see. We'll see if we're able to hold above $257. That would be ideal at this point. If we lose the uptrend line support, pretty likely that we're going to start moving back towards $200, right? We're in a bit of an indecision period as far as are we going to get a little bit of a short-term pullback, or are we going to be able to kick higher over the next couple of days? We'll just have to wait and see really to get some more confirmation on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Omisigo. And one thing that I do want to mention about the fact that, we're in a bit of a consolidation here is no matter what, at this point, it's looking better than it was just a few days ago. So I think we're definitely making progress as far as getting back to where previously, but it's definitely going to take some time, a few weeks at the very least. And as for Omisigo here, we're out of our downtrend, currently in the process of, moving higher here. We're still not testing that middle band yet, so there could be some resistance there. As for the indicators, kind of getting a failed crossover on the MACD and especially on the RSI. We didn't manage to get back above that 44 mark. That's going to be a key level to get back above as far as bullish momentum is concerned. And we're holding on that $12 support level. Definitely want to try to hold above that. As long as we do, probably not going to see it, tank down to $10 or below. So $12 is where we need to hold above. Let's go ahead and take a look at Lisk now and see what Lisk is doing. So pretty volatile candlestick for Lisk. We went all the way up to $30.99 as low as $24.45. We're currently in the middle of that, so that means that we're putting in a doji candlestick. We are finding support still at $25. And pretty interesting move here by Lisk. It's definitely not acting like most cryptocurrencies out there. Already completed its V-shaped bounce. So at this point, what this move is telling me is that either going to get some consolidation in this, maybe a little bit above $25, so basically in the range between $25 and $32, or we're going to see it fall back a bit just because, we have this doji candlestick after the quick run up here. Could mean that we're going to fall lower. I don't see that as being very likely just because we have a lot of support in this area. So don't really see that happening. Probably going to see some consolidation. One thing that I will mention is that could see, definitely a possibility that if we're able to hold this short-term uptrend line, which is very steep, that we actually are able to even kick higher and maybe even break above $32. But that would be a kind of an extraordinary move considering what's going on with the market right now. But other than that, indicators still looking good. It's still uptrending. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano and see what Cardano has been doing. So Cardano, as you can see, very clear, longer upper wick, and that means that buyers aren't able to buy up those higher prices, facing a lot of resistance from this red downtrend line over here. And for now, that's continuing. So indicators still not getting the crossovers into bullish territory. They are flattening out a little bit, which is a decent sign, but really we want to try to get out of this downtrend line as soon as possible, because what's going to happen is more downward pressure until we come back towards 4,000 satoshis, and if we break below that, we're going to be moving back towards 3,000 satoshis. I'd say that it's a definite possibility, considering that Cardano is having some trouble, really finding a base here. So right above $4,000 is where it's been bouncing recently, and if we fall below that, probably going to take a pretty big hit here for Cardano. Let's go ahead and take a look at our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. That's going to be IOTA. And IOTA managed to get back above its longer-term uptrend line. We're now falling a little bit below that. Still have a lot of support in this area, though. And indicators, starting a little bit of an uptrend. So definitely didn't get, a massive boost of strength just yet. It is also experiencing a lot of resistance at the middle band. That's at $2.08. So we want to try to get back above that to really start to see things move up more in a more sturdy manner. With that being said, everyone, this is the end of the daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Make sure to check out my premium content and follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. Thanks for watching, everyone.